It was a controversial week, losing both Sam Darcy and Harley Reid to suspension. So they're both out for 2 weeks. Rising star, just up to it for anyone now to see who can win. So we're going to talk about impactful suspensions over the years, controversial ones for a multitude of different reasons. And there's Darcy. He got 2 weeks for that on Maynard, and Harley Reid obviously for the sling tackle. So I think they both deserve their 2 weeks. But disappointing they can't be involved in the Rising Star. So it leads a statement of the most controversial suspensions over the years.
Well, I think two of the most infamous ones, Lloyd, were Corey McCartney and Chris Grant, 96, 97. Now, this is actually 94 season on Corey McCartney. We raise this because he would have won the Rising Star that year. Chris Scott did, but he probably would have won it had he not done that. But that rule was thrown out a year later, the hand trip. This was the 96 incident on John Barnes. He did cop a suspension for that. I reckon, guys, that may be a fine today. I mean, it's open to interpretation, but it cost him tying the Brownlow with Michael Voss and James Hird in that particular year. And then the following year in 97, that's Corey McCartney dealing with that moment, that period of time, preparing for a grand final. And again, he stood up in 96 grand final and 99 grand final. This is the Chris Grant incident on Nick Holland, which cost him the 97 Brownlow outright. Now, Robert Harvey won the first of his two in 97, but Chris Grant would have won it had that not happened to him. So they're hard to, I think, still stomach, isn't it? It was a bit deflating even for Robert Harvey that night, the way it was unfolding and played out.
John Coleman is one of the biggest names in football, certainly a legend at the Essendon Football Club and one of your idols, being a predecessor in the forward line. But on the eve of the 1951 finals campaign, he was rubbed out after retaliating, well, some niggle from Carlton's Harry Gasper. And that photo there, as he leaves what was then league headquarters, Harrison House, is one of the most iconic. You can see John Coleman absolutely distraught there, having received a 4-week ban. This was on the eve of the finals. Most people thought he would have got 2, but he got 4 weeks, missed the 1951 grand final, which Essendon lost by 11 points. It was an absolute tragedy from a football point of view and from an Essendon point of view. 1967 grand final, it was Richmond, and Neville Crowe was a player there who retaliated to John Nichols, you can see here, bang. Now, he was reported by a boundary umpire, and as such, he was rubbed. He was a triple best and fairest winner at Hunt Road, and was probably in the last year of his football anyway, but he retaliated there with John Nichols, reported by a boundary umpire, and missed the 1967 flag with the Tigers.
Good stuff, TJ. Jason McCartney, one of the best people you'll meet in football, missed the 1999 premiership for that on Clark Kent.
It happened late in the game. North had won the game effectively. They weren't going to come back, the Lions, and that happened in the last quarter of that game.
Not a lot in it, is it? You'd get
had to go for that.
You
can't punch someone in the face,
There wasn't a whole lot in it, though. Like,
he was in a bad way. He was in a bad way. He was in a really bad way.
Punched him in the face.
No, I understand.
And it opened the vacancy for...
Bit of backtracking here.
I just hate stories like this because you just take yourself into the play.
No, he wasn't in a good way.
That missed the grand final as a result of
John
it.
Longmire got the vacancy that was created from McCartney being
what a shame.
Some of the most famous...
Which made amends for his own grand final tragedy earlier.
Yeah.
Or later.
I mean, he missed 96 with his knee, and then was in and out of the team in 99, but hadn't played in the prelim final. I think they would have found a way for him anyway, but it certainly made it easier for the decision to be made.
In the first final for North Melbourne, so this one, the most famous piece of vision we'll see later, but this is Wayne Swass and Glenn Archer get suspended. So this is Swatter for stomping there. He got 2 weeks for that. So he got, I think that's Steinfort potentially.
I think it is Steinfort,
Steinfort for 2 weeks. And he deserved his 2 weeks there, Glenn Archer. Not a lot of force, but it was a kick there. So he gets 2 weeks for that. So they miss 2 weeks and then they lose a prelim to St Kilda. And they shouldn't have stood at the race, should they? Those two, not the smartest place there. And you cost us, you blokes, with a few more expletives in there. So, I'll never forget that.
Story goes, Arch saw him coming and Arch ducked into the room. So it was only Swatter there on his own. So
Swatter went and played for the Swans after that.
Jason Cloke in the preliminary final, he's striking as well. This was Tyson Edwards, so he missed the following week for this. Tyson Edwards clearly a little bit dazed there, a big round arm, and back then you could almost get away with them, but that one was definitely, and he was out the next week. And there's the Mike's Hard Lemonade T-shirt, a very, very famous T-shirt for the old man there. And then this one, Anthony Rocker got Brendan Lade with an elbow, an errant elbow, so he missed as well. So plenty of stories.
And you yourself, Lordo, are also part of this deep dive. And it's embarrassing now to look at this because you're a dirty player. You, for the third time that year, were suspended in this 2001 year. I say that tongue-in-cheek, Lordo. But this incident with Darren Gasper was big. It was massive at the time. You were suspended. You were missing a qualifying final as a result of that incident. And your team won the game. But
why didn't you talk to the media, Lordo?
Yeah, you shunned the media.
Yeah, I'll never forget the stress of it. So it happened on a Friday night and the tribunal hearing was on the Monday. So, that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, I'll never forget the stress for it. I lost about 3 or 4 kilos just waiting, thinking to myself, am I going to miss a grand final? Alistair Lynch actually whacked someone as well in the first final. So they gave us both a week. So we both missed the prelims and Sheeds made me get up after the prelim that we beat Hawthorn in a tight one, apologise to your team and what you're going to do in the grand final to make up for it. But unfortunately, we lost to the Lions in the granny the week after.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Yeah, but I kicked 5, so I did mine.
That's good.
Good work. And of course, the hard luck stories continue right through there. Peter Schwab, you'd remember that one, Damo, where he was also, reduced to tears, having been rubbed out and missing a grand final himself. So, unfortunately, the football landscape littered with hard luck stories, some by their own doing, of course.